Welcome to our Beyond the Gates episode 32 recap from your girl Nikema Lee. I'm just a florist here to dish the tea and to give you a recap on a show that I absolutely am in love with. So here we go. So the show kind of starts with Bill and Helicopter Haley sitting around doing absolutely nothing with their lives and hungry. So Helicopter Haley's like, where do you want to go to eat? You want to go to the cafe? You want to go to Uptown? He was like, nah, I kind of feel like a Caesar salad. She's like, that's my favorite. And he's like, let's go to the country club. She's like, I'm not welcome there. And God knows she is not welcome there. But he is determined for people to actually like this girl, which is absolutely not the right thing to do. But Bill is a narcissist who needs to narc it. So here we go. So they go to the country club, kissing and hugging. Like, I'm going to make these people wish they never met me. Like, I'm going to make these folks like us. Then we're going to PDA in the most fabulous way. And I want them to serve us. So they sit down, and Taylor, he says, hey, Mr. Hamilton, how you doing, sir? Nice to see you again, sir. It's nice to be around you, sir. And he's like, yes, can I get the branzini? So I thought you wanted a Caesar salad. Now you want branzini? Okay, anyway. So he goes, I want a branzini. So Taylor gets to go walk away. He said, excuse me. Excuse me. Because Helicopter Haley's like, I want a Caesar salad, please. Coke, please. Yeah, she wanted a Caesar salad. So he's like, I would like to order for my wife. Can she get a Caesar salad? See, honey, they're going to serve us. And he's like, no, they're going to serve you. And he's like, give it time. We're going to make this thing work for us. So they're sitting over in the corner, kikiing and canoodling, while Danny gets to have this meeting with the board, one of the chairpersons of the board that she was just on. I think it's called the Next Gen Board. Let me turn this off. It's called the Next Gen Board, and she's on the board, right? And the next gen charity is half of the charity that was a part of the fundraiser that they raised all that money for, right? So the lady comes in and she goes, well, and then interrupts her. She's like, I've done all this research and I've done all this work and I've done all this planning. She's like, oh, really wish you hadn't done that. And she's like, oh, I really looked at all these other options and I've got these great ideas. She said, I wish you really hadn't done that. And she was like, well, what's going on? She's like, well, due to your recent events, we have to let you go. She was like, let me go. Recent events. That was weeks and months ago. What are we talking about? She was like, yeah, sorry. We can't go on. Morally, what you did, you could have killed somebody, girl. She was like, oh, but you let me go along with this fashion show. You used me up until you didn't want me no more. And now you want to let me go? Oh, I see how it is. I see what you're doing here. And she was like, I'm so sorry. Gotta go. So she gets up and leaves. Then her mother comes in. She was like, this is your fault. They wouldn't have never done this without you knowing. And her mother, like, first of all, I don't know what you're talking about. And second of all, watch your tone. Miss Anita Dupree don't play. She was like, excuse me, what are you talking about? She was like, I know you know. She was like, I don't know nothing unless you tell me. What are you talking about? She said, well, mom, the next gen board members just kicked me off, just fired me. They just kicked me off the board. Now, all of this is going on within earshot. And I mean, the levels are elevated. So Bill and Haley are overhearing, right? And they're just like, I can't believe that this is happening to Danny at the country club. Oh, wait, look at the tea. And they just over there just sopping it all up, right? So Anita's like, oh, really? They did they? I'll have you back on that board by the end of the day. And Danny was like, no, mom, I don't want to be where I'm not wanted. Isn't that amazing how people can actually see some things that are not meant for them when they're saying that they're not meant for them and really make some grand decisions about, oh, okay, maybe I won't have this thing go on for me. So Danny's like, mom, don't do that. It's fine. I'll figure it out. It's okay. And uh, Anita leaves. She had it in a fish grease, right? She had it in fish grease. So she goes home. She's like, Vernon, you would not believe what these MFers did to our baby. And he's like, MFers? Who? Was it Bill? I know it was Bill. He was like, no, these next gen fools fired our baby. And he was like, for what? He was like, because of the gun thing at the wedding. And they were like, well, why did they didn't fire her before the fashion show? She said, up. And Vernon was like, up. And they were like, I got a plan. And sure enough, they invite that lady over and said, excuse me, but we would like to talk. She's like, oh, Anita, how you doing? Things are so great. I have so many ideas about what's on the next. And Vernon, I'm so glad you're here. We've got some ideas that we want to share with you, and we think that you would be perfect for them. And she was like, oh yeah, we're going to fire you. And she's like, what? I didn't think he'd be so petty. I figured that Danny would tell you that we had a parting of ways. Oh, no, 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 no. We don't think what you did was morally correct. Therefore, we're going to fire you and we're going to remove all of our funds from your organization. And on top of that, we're going to start our own next generation, first generation college student scholarship so that if anybody ever wants to use our money, they can without you, bitch. I was like, yes, yes, yes. That's how you get revenge. You talk about fighting and shooting and all of that. No, 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 no. Go where the money is. Because you know, after that, after Anita and Vernon got that lady back, told her, I hope your company goes under. Bill and Helicopter Hillary, or Helicopter Haley, excuse me, come sashaying over to Danny. Now this is at the end of this is at the end, so there's a lot of stuff in between I'm gonna have to go back to, but this was too juicy for me to leave to the end. So they come sashaying over, and just as smug as they want to be, right? So Helicopter, she's like, oh my god, we were just trying to eat our lunch and we just couldn't help but overhear all of the things that were going on with you, and we're so sorry that you got fired from the board. You know, when you make terrible decisions like pulling guns on people, it can really backfire on you. And Haley was like, we're one of the same to be shunned here in this here country club, and nobody here wants us. And I understand what you're going through, sis. I understand. And then he looked at that bitch like, we are not the same. First of all, you need my ex-husband in order to hang on to anything that you have. I don't need him. I'm a Dupree. I am fabulous. I was like, that's what I'm saying. But what I did notice is the face of Bill Hamilton. When she shook her neck and told her to get what she's going to get, he loved it. He loved it. He ate it up, honey. He was like, that is sexy to me. That's what it would have, that's what was said in my head. I felt like he was just like, yeah, that's how you do it, baby. That's how you do it. I think that kind of thing just turned him all the way on. She was like, bitch, I don't need you, and we are not the same. Get it, don't get it twisted. Yes, Danny. Yes, yes, yes. So okay, now let's go back because Little Miss Sunshine, Little Miss Samantha, she is determined to. She get this one wild hair and she is chasing it all the way down the street. I'm talking about now. She done enlisted her brother to do a bait and switch. You take Daddy, who is unsensible, unreasonable, won't listen to nobody, and he is absolutely ape shit crazy and self-centered and selfish. You take him upstairs, and I'm going to talk to the cool dad. I'm going to talk to the dad who's reasonable. I'm going to talk to the dad who can look at things from both angles and give us a real solid, even kill, rational conversation. That's what I'm going to do. So they do a divide and conquer. Hey, Dad, I need to talk to you. Let's go upstairs. Hey, Dad, I just want, she's like, they were like, listen, what's going on? Because first of all, the two of y'all conniving and conniving, something is wrong, something is up. So Tyrell can't hold water. He was like, I tried to tell him not to come downstairs, but he ain't come. But she was like, look, you told me to follow my dreams. She's talking to Smitty, right? Samantha's talking to Smitty. She's like, you told me to live out my dreams. You told me to chase my dreams. You told me that I can do anything. And here I am. I have something that I have a passion for, and I really want to do it, Dad. You have to let me do this, Dad. You've got to. You've got to give me a chance and an opportunity. You've got to let me, at least try. And he's like, but what about school? And what about college? And what about, all your grades? And she's like, I get good grades. I do all the things you asked me for. I just really want to try this, Dad. And Smitty's like, I get it. I understand it. I think with the proper guardrails, it could be good for you, right? But oh, Martin, here he comes. Well, what if you go to parties? What about the traveling? What about the it's so dangerous? And oh my God. And I'm like, oh my God. So he goes running off to Danny, which they have a conversation that I thought was actually getting somewhere. I really honestly thought that Danny talked to him and talked to him on a matter of here are the facts. Yeah, it's hard, but I nursed my daughter through it at 17. She's only 1 year younger than when I started at 17. So I know the pitfalls. I know that we can get through it. I know that you can handle it. I know that things will be done. You ultimately are doing this for yourself. As a parent, you've got to make the ultimate decision, but really it's possible. She can do all the things that nothing would be missed, right? So I thought for sure Martin left that meeting with some sense. I felt like he had enough information to make an actual decision. This mofo come back home. She was like, "Listen, Dad, I agree with Pops. I agree with Pops, which is Smitty, that I need to look at it from both sides. I need to be rational. I need to be compassionate for how you feel. But I really think that even if we put in some guardrails and we put in some contingencies, that we can really make this work. You've got to let me live out my dreams, Dad." You know what this mofo told that little girl? No. He said, "I can't let you model. I just can't let you do it." And I was like, she was like, "You don't let me do nothing." That's the and when a young girl says you don't let me do nothing, then she gonna bust out the scene. You won't let me date. You won't let me model. You won't let me get on the internet. You won't let me like you won't let her do nothing. So same thing I'm thinking, you thinking, Smitty thinking. If you don't let that girl go, she gonna do it on her own, and that's the last thing you want. The last thing you want is for her to make her own decisions, and she did. She went right up them stairs, called her cousin Chelsea, and was like, Dad didn't say no. They just really are still really debating it and thinking about it. And would you be my manager? Would you help me? And she's like, I'm gonna do what I want to do. And when they get that in their psyche that they're gonna do what they want to do, because she said that was the very first thing she said, I'm gonna be a model and I'm gonna do it with or without your permission. I was like, okay, not only would you be grounded, you would not have any access to the internet. But see, then if you go too far and you take everything away, she gonna be climbing down the windows going to see a boy and get pregnant and on heroin by the time the season is over. But I digress. I just really feel like Martin is being selfish because Smitty brought up the other idea too, is that you want to run for president. And do you feel like her being a model will somehow hinder you from being president? And then Danny said the same thing. She said, when you wanted to run off and run for Congress and be in the political sphere, they supported you, even though they didn't want to. Even behind the scenes, they made sure that your transition through the political arena was easier than it would have been. I mean, your grandfather was a senator. I mean, like you are so one sided. And he's like, Smitty was like, do you feel like her being a model would hinder you being running for president? And then the fact that he's running for president and he doesn't understand that his level of scrutiny is going to amplify for him and his children and his marriage. He's just so one-sided that it's going to lead to an absolute disaster in his family. Absolute disaster. The whole thing is going to implode. That little girl is going to go. And I got a feeling that the mama and the daddy, whoever the mommy and the daddy is of them kids, they're going to come back one day looking for their kids. And they're going to take their kids because they still minors. And they find themselves in court, and they gonna find themselves without the love of Martin, because Martin is so selfish. He is so selfish that it's going to absolutely backfire on him. So that's the recap of episode 32. And we are almost there. We are almost there. We are almost caught up. I'm telling you, I'm getting it done. But I look forward to recapping our next episode. If you got any questions, comments, did I miss something? Let me know. Leave a comment in the bottom. Listen, you guys are awesome. Thanks for watching the show. I appreciate you. Look, and we're recapping Behind the Gates. If you've got anything, again, if I've missed something, let me know. And then if you think that young girl is going to sneak out, because she's already lied and said that to her cousin Chelsea. So she's already on the slippery slope to a downfall, right? Nothing we can do about it now. Just let it play itself out. And then the other thing that I'm really interested in is this whole Tim and this Eva and this Leslie Dana situation. I really want to see how this plays out. I'm not necessarily wanting to go a little bit longer, but I really feel like at some point we have got to get to, the meat of this thing. It's got to explode and blow up. So we're due for a good explosion here. Beyond the Gates. Again, another great show, another great episode, good writing. Let's talk about the flowers. So Chelsea gave Samantha some flowers, a really cute bouquet. It was not wrapped in paper or anything. It wasn't. It just literally looked like she just picked them up out of the flower cooler that they have at their parents' house, at their grandparents' house. So it's interesting to kind of see that they didn't even wrap the bouquet in paper to make it a present or presentable. Like she went to a floral shop and picked it up. So it looks very random. Or she could have got it from the grocery store and just took the plastic off when she came inside. But I felt like it was very underwhelming. Pretty flowers. She had some sunflowers in there. It was really, 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 really great flower. It was pretty, but it just wasn't presented well. We could do better, but I digress. Well, I really feel like it just could have been a better presentation. Other than that, Anita and Vernon had a really good flowers. They always do. So those were good. Other than that, the country club flowers are always great. We try to keep an eye out on them, see if there's anything different that's happening. But more or less, that bouquet of flowers, it just needs to be wrapped in paper, and it would have been perfect. Outside of that, thank you for watching. Let's keep going. Thanks, guys. Bye. To like, share, sign up for those notifications, and subscribe to this channel.